Hey guys, welcome back to this episode of the Crash Course in Logic Pro 10. We're going to talk about navigation. It's not, there's a lot more fun stuff that we'll be doing, but this will help you get around quickly. You don't want to get tripped up by just trying to get where you want in a song, and etc. There's a lot of efficient ways to work in this software. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's navigating between windows. You want to memorize your hotkeys quickly. I know that Command 2 is going to pull up my mix window. Command 4 is going to bring up a MIDI editor, like that, etc., etc. Try to memorize those keys so you can quickly open them up. If you don't know what it is, it's going to be listed next to the window that you want. Usually, Command and a number is going to open up those different things, and they've changed since version 9 a little bit. So all right, so there's that. Remember that. Let's look at zooming. So in order to zoom, if you want to use the mouse, we're going to go to the upper right, and we can drag. You'll see when I hover the mouse that a little dialog popped up and told me about this little slider. That's pretty helpful, isn't it? But let's learn the keyboard shortcuts, because we're about mouse avoidance. The mouse is a sign of weakness. So we're going to hold down Control, and then left and right arrow keys are going to zoom horizontally, and Control up and down are going to zoom that way, vertically. See how I have this track selected? If I hold down Control and hit the letter Z, it's going to zoom on that one track, which I find helpful. If I do the down arrow, it's going to go to the next track. So I find that helpful. Zoom how I want. Control Z again, and it hides it. Makes it regular. I think that's wonderful. Let's see, what else do we got here on our list? Let's go to song beginning. Let's say I'm at measure 26 or so. I can hit return, go to the song beginning. I can also hit 0 on the number pad. Sometimes that's easier. It's closer to your body, so you don't have to fish for it quite so much. Just right there, 0. Next on our list, we're going to go forward one measure, backward one measure. To do this, if you look to the period and the comma on your keyboard, you see above it, it's greater than and less than signs. If you just press those, it goes in the direction of that arrow. If I hold down Shift and hit it, it's going to advance by 8 measures or backwards by 8 measures. I use that a lot. So that's helpful. See how the song comes in here? If I want to hear that, I can double click in this ruler area, and it's going to start playing. Come on. Spacebar to stop. If I double click on Enter, it's going to start playing from that same spot. I love this one. Double click on Enter. That's super handy. Another way to kind of go over the same section multiple times is to drag in this number area to get this yellow. Let's just do a 2-bar section. Now, no matter where the playhead is, watch what happens when I hit the space bar. So it's just going to loop that section over and over. So if you're trying to write a lyric or something, then that can be super helpful. All right. Now let's start it playing here. And watch this. I'll show you how to do this, but I just hit one key. I inserted a marker up here. Did you see that? There's another marker. One cool thing about Logic markers is watch what happens. See, I have 1, 2, and 3. Watch what happens if I do the same keyboard shortcut, and I'll show you how I do it. But watch what happens if I insert one in between 2 and 3. Watch what happens. You can't zoom in. You can see what it did. It automatically renumbered them so that they're sequential still from left to right. And some softwares, in certain industry standard software, that would not be the case. So I think that's pretty helpful. Now watch what happens if I hit the number 1, number 3. I go to those markers just with one key. Now the way I'm doing this is Logic lets you create custom shortcuts. So if you want to change one, or sometimes you can create one, as long as you know what the function is called, you can set up these shortcuts. The way we do this is go under Logic Pro, Preferences, go to Key Commands, Edit, and in the case of markers, type the word marker, and these are the ones that I programmed. Let's program something else. What can we program? How about record? The default out of the box is the letter R, and I changed it to be asterisk, but let's change it to be something else. Let's make it the same as Pro Tools. So let's select it, learn by key position, learn new assignment. Man, okay, here we go. I'm going to hold Command, then hit Spacebar. Oh, I didn't like that one. How about Command R? Now it's wanting me to replace. It's already assigned. If you're confident that you don't use whatever function this is, you could say replace. I'm going to hit cancel. If you get deep into this and you realize that you want the factory settings back, you can either program it back manually, or under options, presets, you can just select the US. Oh my gosh, I just went back. That's great. Presets, I have no idea. I just goofed up all my shortcuts. Oh boy. So don't do that. There's no revert, is there? Is it an undo buffer? It's not. Oh my gosh. I don't believe I just did that. So don't do that. Okay, well, that's pretty much the stuff I wanted to show you guys, how to get around this interface quickly. So practice navigating, going back and forth, mess around with markers, try to establish some new key commands, practice using those, and we'll get into making some more music quickly here, but I just wanted to show you navigation. Oh shoot, there's another one. I forgot to show you that with the cycle thing, once you establish this cycle region, you could hit this button in order to turn it on and off. I usually just click on it and it does the same thing. On your keyboard, if you letter C for cycle, it's going to turn that on. The click track over here is going to be the letter K. There's two different click tracks. One is for while it's playing, the other for while recording. And you can have either one active or bypassed. They're independent. So the recording click track is separate from just hitting play. If I hit the letter K, you can turn it on and off while it's playing. So just keep that in mind, that the play click track, you can just hear a metronome along with what's playing if you want, or you can turn it on and off for recording just with the letter K. Even while it's recording, you can hit the letter K. Why the letter K? Well, first of all, the letter C is taken up by cycle, we discovered. But the letter K is also the first letter of Klopfgeist, which is Logic's click track. And what does Klopfgeist mean? Well, Logic bought the software from eMagic, which I think was in Germany, and the definition of Klopfgeist is a knocking spirit. Poltergeist is another translation. I was hoping it would mean click track or metronome, but it doesn't. I don't know. Sometime I'll look up metronome, what it is in German. Anyway, that's your homework. No, your homework is to practice using these navigational things, advancing, zooming, and we'll see you next time on Crash Courses in Logic.